Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper, and welcome to Tag Tuesday. It's been a while since I've done a tag, so I'm really excited about this one. And I have moved to the island because I have a number of things I'm going to share with you that are all around me. So I needed some extra space today, which is quite something. So let's get started. This tag is the Bookish Elements tag, and I was tagged by Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading. I really like her channel, so if you haven't checked her out, I encourage you to go and do so. I've been watching her videos for a while. She probably doesn't know because I don't comment enough, but you know that's one of my things I'm going to try to do more of in the year 2025. So I will let Kelly know more often when I'm watching her. That feels like a stalker sometimes, but you know, I'm not stalking. I'm actually supporting her channel, but I'd be supporting it even more if I wrote that I was there. The original creator of this tag was Sarah at My Granny Era is the name of her channel. I love the name of that channel. I think Kelly said in her video that she tagged me in, which was the end of January, so it's been a little bit of a time, but this was the best timing for me. I think Kelly said that Sarah isn't posting content anymore, which is sad, but I'm going to check her out anyway. So you do the same if you'd like to check out My Granny Era. Sounds like something I need, right? So the Bookish Element tag is all about books and certain ways in which we are with books. So I think this is fun. I love these tags about books, you know. 9 questions, 9 prompts. Let's get started. Question number 1. How do you feel about foreshadowing or dropped hints? If they're done well, I'm good with them. So the requirement is they have to be done well. I'm not sure that I want to tell you some of the authors that have not done them well, but there are a few. And it's probably one of the reasons I don't read some of those authors anymore because I just like to kind of be in suspense. So if they're cleverly done and then later I say, oh, or if they're done like right before the end where I'm already kind of there and I already think I know what's going to happen, that's also okay. But I think the subtlety of these foreshadowed hints is important. I really, really do. So if it's subtle and it's well done, I'm all in. Number 2, bookmarks. What do you use? How do you feel about bending the corners down? Don't do it. No, I'm not telling you not to do it. I don't do it. But I used to do it when I was a kid. So I get it. I just stopped doing it. It's possible one of my sisters said I was a heathen. Why was I doing that? Or it's possible I just decided I didn't want to do that anymore. But I've never appreciated library books that have had covers that were bent because I think that that's just not good, but that's just me. But bookmarks, oh yeah, I'm all in. Obviously, this isn't even all of them, but it's pretty close to the current situation that I'm in. I have some that are fabric. I have one from Turkey that a family member brought me back from Turkey. I have some that Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library included with her book sleeves that I've purchased. I love these. So those are fabric ones. I have one that a child made me that has my initial on it. I have some that I made, old ones that I made. This is actually one of my favorites. I almost always use this one for historical fiction because I just love it. I have some that people have sent me because I bought something from them. So reading list is one, book review, and then this one you can write the books or put the books on it. So it's double-sided that you've been reading. That's also fun. I haven't done that. I got some from Etsy one day that have quotes on them that are really good for me. I'd rather take coffee than compliments just now. It's from Little Women, which is one of my favorites. I have Book of the Month Club. I mean, really, they're just endless, right? Like, so I sometimes give those to my kids because they don't always have bookmarks. I have some from local shops that I have been to. Read in Color from Little Free Library. I can't remember where that one came from. I have some that have messages on them. This is from somebody, I don't know. I have one that's one of my favorites I got from a bookseller. And so, yes, I also like the page clips. I use page clips more for my planner than I do, for books. These are Harry Potter house page clips, but they're magnetic, so you just pop them over the page and then they stay adhered. I have Star Wars book clips too. Gosh, the glare of those. And then I have one from my BookTube Besties retreat in here, and I think I have another one that I'm already using. More Harry Potter book clips. These are just fun, but obviously I have no qualms about bookmarks at all. All right, number 3, forgotten bookmarks. Have you ever found something strange in a book? I don't think I've ever found anything strange. I used to use, when I was a kid, gum wrappers to, when I didn't have bookmarks, which I didn't have a lot of when I was a kid. So if I left bookmarks that were gum wrappers in a book, people are probably thinking that's a little strange. I usually find mail that we get the mail when we're getting ready to go in the car, and I almost always have a book in the car because I have to take one. So if I have a physical book in the car, there's going to be mail in it that isn't necessarily important. I found an Alzheimer's donation request the other day from years ago. I felt bad about that, but you saw it happens. It's kind of ironic. The other day I found a medical bill that we had paid. It was a receipt for years ago. One of us went to the doctor. The strangest thing I've ever found in a book, I will tell you, is quite, I think, sweet. I went to a library sale one day and I got a bunch of books, and I came home and I was reading one of them, and the guy had given his wife, I guess, or somebody in his life, a Christmas list of what he wanted for Christmas. And it was in the book. I'm hoping that the person who was supposed to buy him the gifts put it in the book and that they got him the gifts that he wanted. He was very specific. I don't know, but I always felt bad that I didn't know who that was or whether or not they got their Christmas gifts. So that was my strangest thing I've ever found. Question number 4. How do you feel about inscriptions and annotations? Writing in a book, do you annotate? How do you do it if you do? I have some books that I've gotten used or that I've gotten from friends that have passed them on to me, or family members that had names in them, and I'm okay with that. I don't usually write my name in a book or write an inscription in a book. I do have these little book plates. In fact, in there with my bookmarks, I have these little book plates. Clearly, I'm not using them, but you can stick them in your book and tell people that it's your book. It's probably a good idea when you lend books out. I have some books right now that are out that I've been waiting for them to come back, and I've asked twice, but we'll see. Annotations. I'm not a person who annotates in a book unless it's a nonfiction book. Then I will typically make notes if needed. Especially did that more in college than I tend to have to do now. But now and again, if it's an industry related nonfiction, or if it's something that I'm using for some specific reason and I need to remember that, but usually I'll just dart, or I have highlighted passages in nonfiction books before, but I don't think I've ever highlighted anything in a fictional book. I don't think I have. I mean, certainly not that I remember doing. Number 5, introductions and footnotes. Do you read them? What makes a good introduction? I think a good introduction for me is something that compels me to want to read the book. And it could be sort of an introduction to the plot, and you're meeting a character for the first time, or it's the setting, or it's some way that sets up for you what your experience is going to be. I love those. Introductions written by the author telling you why they wanted you to read it, or that they're happy that you began the book, or that they hope you enjoy it, or whatever. That's also fine too. And footnotes I really appreciate, especially if it's relevant, and most of the time footnotes are relevant. If you don't know the difference between annotations and footnotes, because I actually had this conversation with my granddaughter the other day because she was unclear about the differences between them. Footnotes are a little bit of extra information that may be useful to you about this particular thing, like maybe it's the time that it happened, or it is something that you might be sort of curious about, but it's usually very short and brief, and it's nothing like for you to really think hard about. Annotations, though, are something that really enhances your understanding of the whole text. So Annotations are very helpful in certain books for me, including one that I'm trying to read now, which is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, which is, this big. It's as big as my head. I feel like if I didn't have annotations in that book, I probably would go crazy, but it's very useful to have those. So they're very detailed. They give you information that is much more important to you in understanding what's happening. And in this case, because it's translated from French and because it's set in, a period of time that's not familiar to me really at all, in a place that's not familiar to me at all. And because the author writes very complex sentence structures, and it's very important for me to have annotations. So that's my take on introductions, footnotes, and annotations, now that you know. But I don't typically annotate myself, but I appreciate people who annotate, especially complex reads. Number 6, accessories. Do you use bookish accessories like a clip or a reading light? That's why we're here and not over there, because yes, I do. So the first thing I pulled out, which doesn't get used as often anymore, but this is my little book stand. Now, most people's book stands look different than mine, but I got these from my grandkids years ago and they were so cute. I couldn't resist getting one for me. So you put your little hardcover book right here and it sits up pretty much, and you can use it anywhere you want to use it. It's pretty big though. I mean, he's not a small little guy, and I've had him for a while and he's a little worn, but I still love him. I don't read a lot of hardcover books anymore in the bed, but or in a place where I would really need to have this. But if I do need it, it's still always available to me. And like I said, I just really love him. But also, I have a Kindle Paperwhite now, which this is not something that I'm actually reading, but it's an ad for them to get me to buy that. So I have the clip. The clip is like a lifesaver for me. Do I need the clip? No. Do I love the clip? Yes. I use it every single day. So the way this works, here's the book I'm currently reading. You turn on the little back of that clip. This is your little clicker. And so if you want to change the page, you do that. See? Isn't that fun? Yeah, I know. I love it. And some of them have an extra button for you to go back, and it's game changing for me. Do I need that? No. I do have a clip with a light, which I will put on the book that I may have to have stand up, and I love these two. This is probably my second one. This one came from Glowcascent. They actually asked me to talk about this on a video one day in exchange for them sending me one of these, and they didn't, but I already had one, so that was fine, but that never happened. But now you got a free little plug there, Glowcascent. I also love book sleeves. I have a number of them. Most of these have come from Lindsay at Lindsay's little library. This is a Jane Austen one that I did not get from Lindsay, but I really love it, and it's very big, and it has a little thing that you can close it, which I like. But so that's one of my favorites. And then this is also one of my favorites. I use that all the time. But I love them all. And I get them as gifts for my kids too, and for people that I, send gifts to. So I think book sleeves are wonderful. And I also use earbuds for my audio book listening. This is my second pair of these. I just recently had to replace those because one of them, I'd had it for a while, one of them broke. They're fun. I have the ones that go over your ears. They're fine while I'm listening. They're comfortable, but then when I take them off, it's like it hurts. So I don't use those very often, but that's, it's a personal choice. I do like book darts. I got some of these from somebody that did a book swap with me. Crystal, I think, sent me these, so that was very sweet. And then these I've had for a while. The only thing I worry about with these is that they're metal. Will they discolor your pages over time? I don't know. I do love them. They help me to mark a spot a quote that I really loved, or a moment where I was really like, oh my gosh, this was incredible, or something. They're just great. I think that's all the bookish accoutrement that I have to share with you today. Number 7, art and illustrations. How do cover art and illustrations affect your reading experience? I like illustrations when I'm expecting them. And I would say that most of the books that I have that have illustrations are obviously either children's books or Oh, classics. Like I have the old version of A Christmas Carol with the original Arthur Rackham illustrations in it. I like those for sure, and I'm drawn to those more, I would say, than in contemporary. There's not a lot of, I don't need illustration really in contemporary novels. I think some fantasy authors add that in. It doesn't bother me. I like them. Hey readers, editing Lori thought she would pop in and tell you that there is a book recently that I read called Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. And the illustrations in that horror book were they really enhanced the experience I had of reading the book. So I would recommend that one if you haven't read that and you love horror. My daughter loved it too. Cover art often is like sort of the thing that draws me in. I have said to you, I can't even, shudder to think how many times I have said, I love this cover. I say that all the time. It is often a cover that will draw me into a book, more so even than anything else. The Tainted Cup is a book that I have not yet read that I had to have last year. And one of the reasons why I bought The Tainted Cup was that cover art. And then there's another one now coming out and it's just as nice. Yeah, that's kind of a problem sometimes. Number 8, format. Which format do you prefer? And do you do different things for different situations? This is tricky. I almost always have one audio, one Kindle, and one physical book going at the same time. Does this mean I'm overwhelmed sometimes? Yes. Right now, I am overwhelmed. I'm trying to finish some books. I didn't finish them last week. It was a tricky week for us. And so I was supporting family a lot. And I was also noticing I was unable to focus a couple of days last week. So I'm really feeling a little challenged at the moment. In fact, there's a video coming out or a vlog coming out, I think, on that. But I do love to read Kindle at night. If I'm in my bed reading, I will have a Kindle typically. I will also weirdly often have a Kindle when I'm eating lunch and I want to read while I'm eating lunch. I will also read on a different platform if I don't want anything to happen to that physical book. Like if there's something that I'm terrified will ruin that book, if it's a special edition or if it's something that I just can't have anything occur accidentally to that book, dogs, kids, whatever, I will not read the book. And I often take the jacket cover off because I want it to be, in good shape and good condition. Physical books, though, I will typically read when they're shorter or when I know that they're going to probably draw me in quickly because I can sometimes get bogged down by physical books. I don't know what it is, but I suspect it's more related to eye fatigue than anything else. I have been a big audio book fan for a long time, and there were times where I read more books in audiobook format, which my son still says isn't reading, but it is. There are times where I will enjoy audiobooks more than other times. This year so far is not that time. I've really had a hard time with them. But audiobooks, I typically also look for something that will really draw me in and will really be like a plot, like crazy, compelling, edge of your seat kind of situation. Those are the things I love on audiobooks. Les Miserables would not work for me on audio. I would be like asleep. I have no qualms about falling asleep with physical Kindle or audio. I can fall asleep equally well with all of those. So just so you know, and I'm more likely to do that at night than any other time of the day. But I will say that if I want to stay awake for some reason, the Kindle is easier for me. And I read more quickly on the Kindle than either of the other options. So if I'm in a hurry, I will try to find it on Kindle. And then the 9th prompt is for you to tag some people that you would like to do this video. So I'm just going to say tag yourself if you want to do this video. There are a number of people that I could tag, but also I just think there are a number of you who probably want to do this video, and I have no idea that you do. I think you should go ahead and do this. If this is a book tag that excites you, tag yourself. And then let me know and share your video with me. Let me know that you've done it so that I can go and watch, and I will comment and enjoy your responses to these questions. I thought this was fun, and I'm really grateful to Kelly for tagging me in this one, and I look forward to continuing to watch her great videos as well. So thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed Tag Tuesday. And as always, happy reading. Bye.